Hey guys, it's Lauren LeMunyon, the Spitfire coach. I hope you've had a chance to check out the Spitfire podcast. I started it back in November of last year, and I put out a show every week. Every month we're doubling in listenership, and I want to thank you guys so much for supporting it. Now, this isn't all about the Spitfire podcast. I've gotten a lot of questions about how to start a podcast, what equipment to use, how to edit it, and where to get started. Everyone has a story, they have a message to tell, and your voice needs to be amplified. And what better way to do it than on a podcast? You don't have to put makeup on, you don't have to be wearing shoes even. You can just have a microphone and talk about whatever you want. Before you get started though, it's really important to pick your topic, to know what your message is, what your specific perspective and vantage point is. And the more specific you are, the better. I know it sounds crazy. You feel like you want to be broad reach, you want to touch everybody. But those people will come eventually. Here's the thing, you don't want to just do this for your friends and family. You want to be able to touch people who have never heard from you. You want them to be able to search for you and listen in to what you have to say. So if you're really into My Little Pony or vintage Barbie dolls or into picking up salamanders from a creek, go ahead and do it. You know, your story is your story. I love to talk about creative entrepreneurs and passionate professionals. It's what I do in my coaching practice, and it's what I'm really intrigued to do at networking events. I'm kind of a weirdo and I stalk awesome people. Whoops. So first start with that. What topic are you really interested in? How can you refine down that message into something that's really specifically you? And what's your perspective and vantage point on it? Once you have that figured out, you can come up with a name or you can let it sit for a little bit. But sketch out who you think your audience is and what are some things that you want to accomplish in each episode. So what does success look like when that final voice or sound is heard in your podcast? When someone is finished listening, what do you want them to feel? Do you want it to be education? Do you want them to laugh? Do you want them to feel inspired? Do you want them to feel informed? Do you want them to just have a break in a story? So once you have that, then you've been able to pinpoint your genre. Once you're ready to move on from that, then the name may be a little bit more clear, or you can come back later on. But I think the next piece is to start to sketch out potential guests. Is this just going to be you speaking in a solo format, or are you going to talk to people in a conversation-based way? Are you going to talk to them in person? Are you going to do interviews over Skype or Zoom? These are really important because it's going to then dictate what your setup costs are going to be. So if you're doing in-person interviews with more than one people, you're going to need something called an interface. And hold on one second, I'm going to get mine. So this is a handy-dandy lunch bag that I got from Thomas Edison State University. My mom actually graduated from there like a couple of years, maybe 10 years ago. Go mom, way to do it. So I use this because it's padded and it's insulated. And when you have expensive equipment, you want to be able to cart it around in a nice handle and make sure it's protected. So if it's in a bag and just happens to hit the floor, then it's protected. So in here, I have my interface. So this is a Behringer interface, and there are two inputs here. So these are where the mics go. And the cool thing about this is when I have this hooked up to Audacity, which is a free program, and I'll have links in the show notes here, you can look at where people are peaking out. So if you have someone who has a really loud, boomy voice, like mine, then you can turn them down so they're not going to blow the speaker out. I don't know if you've ever heard that happening, but it is not appealing to the ear. If someone's a little more soft-spoken, you'll either want them to bring the mic up to themselves or put them all the way up on these gains. So the cords go in here. They're big fat wonkers. They go in there. And then I like to keep my mics in bubble wrap, so it keeps it protected. I know where they are at all times. So this is an Audio-Technica Atr 2100. I picked these bad boys up for about $65 each on Amazon, so not bad at all. They have a USB cord that you can either directly go into your computer if you're only using one mic, or you can use the thicker cords to plug into your interface. So try it out. You can put a headphone jack right here, but make sure that you're testing out your level so you can hear it, because that's the worst. I've had this happen where I've just not been clear, someone else hasn't been heard, and I've had to do voiceovers, and that is a pain in the butt. Don't do it. So I've got two mics in here. The interface was about $55 on Amazon. You can get more expensive ones at Guitar Center that have 4 inputs. If you're doing a musical podcast, you can have music recorded that way. Another option for you is to just do a single mic that has omnidirectional inputs, meaning that if people are sitting around a table, they can just speak directly into the microphone. Now, once you've played around with this a little bit, you've gotten comfortable with your intro, what you're talking about, the questions, your intentions, go ahead and start playing around. Get some friends to be guests on it so you can feel really comfortable, because that's the main point. I can't tell you how many podcasts I've listened to where the host is super freaking boring and you want to just take a nap, and that's great because everybody needs something to sleep to. But as a host, if you have a podcast, you want to be engaging. You want people to really be lingering with your message and understanding and taking advantage of that passive input. These little earbuds are magic. You are right in their head as they're going about their day. So from an investment standpoint here, 2 mics, the interface, and then I use a program called Wondershare Filmora. So I'm going to show you guys this. Probably can't see it very well, but that's okay. So right here is the interface of Wondershare Filmora. So this is actually a video program. So I've got my friend Deborah Alfred. What up, Deborah? I was just editing her podcast episode. So you'll see that there's some cut marks here, and that's basically to take out any dead air space, if there was like a loud crash in the background or anything else. This is actually something that we recorded in person. So the track was done through Audacity, which is right here. It's like I planned this for you guys. So this top track is my track. This bottom track is Deborah's track. So what I do is I record these, and then when I'm ready to use it and move it over to edit, I export it as a WAV file. Don't do it as an MP3 because then you have to pay for it. So WAV file here, and make sure you name it and you know where it is. And then you're going to go ahead and import it here. Now Wondershare Filmora costs about $60 for the software. And I will tell you, I use this multiple times a week when I'm doing videos. So huge cost savings and time savings in this. They also have some music that you can put into it. So I'm just going to put you guys in the sample here. So I did some voiceover work. That's really up close and personal. Hello. So basically you want to have your intro text that you're going to read like a script, introducing people to the show. You want to have some fun music that gets people jazzed up, whatever the theme is. And then you're going to go into your show, what you're going to talk about, introducing your guest. So I'm going to play this for you. Let's see if it does it. That's my dog snoring.
Uncovering your truth and fire, one conversation at a time. This is the Spitfire Podcast. The Spitfire Podcast is brought to you by the Spitfire Coach, a subsidiary of Lauren Lemonnion Coaching, LLC. If you'd like more information about business coaching or how to get the passion back in your profession, go to laurenlemonnion.com or thespitfirecoach.com. Hey guys, it's your host, Lauren Lemonnion, the Spitfire Coach.
Cool. So I'm not going to bore you with all that, but the key thing here is to have as much pre-done as possible so that you can get into the magic of editing. So it usually takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to edit a podcast because I want to listen for any dead spaces, the ums, or any type of conversation that kind of goes off on a tangent that's not relevant. The sweet spot, I think, is between 20 and 30 minutes if you're doing interviews. If you're doing a solo talk, keep it short and sweet. One of my favorite podcasts is the Side Hustle School, and he keeps it under 10 minutes. So, but he's doing it every day, so it's a lot more work. Think about the frequency that you want to do it because consistency wins. If you can do it every day, go for it. But if you want to do something that's more robust, that it's more comprehensive in the discussion, go for once a week or maybe once a month. I was talking to a friend who basically said, make sure you have 10 episodes done before you launch on Apple Podcasts. And the reason for that is people want something to sink their teeth into. Think about how many times you've binged something on Netflix. You're not just going to watch one episode. You want to watch the whole damn thing. So give people something to sink into. And I'll have some more tips for you. We're already at 9 minutes. I don't want to bore you anymore. But now you have the basic upstart fees. So 2 mics, an interface, and Wondershare Filmora, all for about $300. And Audacity is free. So I'm going to have all these links in there. You can go to Amazon, get it, pick it up, try it out. I have someone downstairs actually using this same setup and it's working great for them. So try it out. Let me know how it goes. If you need extra assistance, you can contact me at laurenlemonnion.com or thespitfirecoach.com. Oh, and make sure you download the Spitfire Podcast. So go to spitfirepodcast.com or check us out on Apple Podcasts. Take care, guys.